Dubois has found himself. He's a different fighter. He's a different animal now. Anyone who thinks that it's the same fight, they're wrong. Dubois is young. He's getting better. He's found himself. He's at that place now in his life.
Teddy Atlas didn't hold back when he declared that Oleksandr Usyk could be in serious danger in his rematch with Daniel Dubois. In a bold take that's got the boxing community buzzing, Atlas referred to Dubois as a different animal this time around, warning that the Ukrainian champion may be walking into a fight far tougher than expected.
Walks outside on the road and what people are going to see. It was really about looking in the mirror and liking what was looking back at him. Dubois has found himself. He's a different fighter. He's a different animal now. Anyone who thinks that it's the same fight, they're wrong.
With the rematch set for July 19th at Wembley Stadium, speculation is reaching a fever pitch, and multiple voices across the sport are chiming in with predictions, warnings, and behind-the-scenes insights that suggest this fight could be very different from their first encounter.
Do you think we're seeing a different Daniel Dubois now, though?
Yeah, no, I do. I do think he's massively improved. I think he came of age against AJ.
Personality-wise, he's looking a bit more.
I just think, you know, against Jarrell Miller, he's shown he can come through tough moments.
True.
Jarrell Miller wasn't active enough, and Jarrell Miller doesn't punch hard enough. He'll come across a completely different skill set than Oleksandr Usyk. You got to remember he's been in there with him already, and we all know what happened last time.
Yes, true.
I don't want to hear this stuff about low blows. It's called a protector for a reason. If you hit a protector, guess what? It's low.
Yeah.
The protector is, as long as the protector's in the right place, where it always is with Usyk, you can do all your video editing you want. I've fought him, I know what he's like. The guy hasn't got a cheating bone in his body. The protector's always on point.
Atlas's comments stem from a belief that Dubois is no longer the same fighter who faced Usyk in 2023. Back then, Dubois came in with confidence, but ended up being stopped in the 9th round.
I can't go against Usyk. I can't. Because the guy, his greatest strength is he always finds a way to win. Always. The amateurs, Olympic gold, cruiserweights, unified heavyweights, goes to London, fights a bigger guy, fights him twice, beats him, then he goes and fights a bigger guy again, fights him twice, Fury beats him. I mean, the guy knows how to find a way to win. He's special, but he's getting older. I would have preferred, like I said, I have nothing but admiration for both. I have some maybe extra love towards Usyk.
Many at the time questioned whether he was truly ready for a fighter as seasoned and mentally sharp as Usyk. Even Dubois' trainer, Don Charles, has admitted that he might have been wrong in thinking his fighter was prepared for someone of Usyk's caliber at that stage. Charles reflected on the 2023 loss, saying it was perhaps premature and that Dubois was pushed into the spotlight before he had truly matured into the fighter he was meant to be.
I can sit here now and say we were mad, thinking that we were ready. I'm always very ambitious. Daniel's very ambitious. So it was an opportunity. We didn't have to take it, but we did. It happens to be our first fighter-coach relationship. We had to develop it quick, instantaneously. In 14 weeks, we had to gel. I had to try and put the ethos of the boxing that I teach to this new fighter working relationship. It was very, very difficult, but we did enough for him to produce what he produced back then in Poland. Yeah?
But everything seems to have changed now. According to his team and analysts, Dubois has grown significantly in both his technique and mindset. He's no longer carrying the pressure of proving himself. Now he's aiming to finish what he started. Atlas sees this new version of Dubois as a major threat to Usyk's undisputed heavyweight reign, not because of sheer power alone, but due to improved ring awareness, patience, and resilience. These are qualities that weren't evident in the first fight, but have reportedly been developed since.
Dubois is young. He's getting better. He's found himself. He's at that place now in his life where he's only going to get better. He believes in himself. He knows what he is now. He knows he can depend on himself. He is more dangerous now than he ever was. He was always a good puncher. But now he's more than just a good puncher. He's a solid man in that ring. It's a dangerous fight for Usyk. It's a very, 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 and I salute him again. Even though I wish what I wish, I don't hide what I feel. I say it. But I salute him, that son of a gun.
Meanwhile, Usyk's camp is far from ignoring the threat. In fact, they've taken it seriously enough to introduce a secret weapon into their training camp ahead of the rematch. Although they haven't disclosed exactly what this weapon is, sources from within the team describe it as a unique addition to Usyk's already advanced preparation methods. This secret element could be anything from a strategic training partner to a specialized conditioning regimen designed to neutralize Dubois' power and improved form. Whatever it is, Team Usyk is confident it will provide the edge they need to stay ahead of an opponent who's clearly coming with a different energy.
Ну мне тоже боляче, и шо?
Я ровно бью так.
И шо?
Я ж тебе не так бью.
Це твої проблеми, як ти б'єш.
Давай.
Давай.
Adding to the narrative, Daniel Dubois himself has expressed that he expects to end Usyk's career with this fight. It's a bold claim, but it reflects a mindset shift. Dubois is no longer stepping into the ring hoping to survive against a world-class champion. He's stepping in expecting to dominate. That confidence is coming from his camp, his recent form, and a belief that Usyk may be vulnerable at this stage of his career, especially with retirement being floated as a possibility in the near future.
I think I can do even better than that. That's my mindset. I think I can do even better than that. And what that looks like is scary, and I really want to do it and show the world I'm the real king. And yeah, here we go.
You've got a few months now, it's my last question, but you walk up at the farm gym in Elstree and you see Wembley every single day. For every single day now until July 19th, you're going to be looking at that when you park your car and thinking, back to business under the arch and time to become undisputed.
I'm going to be dreaming about that, looking at the Wembley arches, and yeah, this is where history has to take place.
Usyk has had a long and storied journey, first dominating the cruiserweight division before moving up to heavyweight and capturing multiple titles. However, whispers of his eventual retirement have been growing louder, and Dubois' camp is aiming to capitalize on that. They believe that if Usyk is thinking about life after boxing, then he might already be halfway out the door mentally, something that could prove costly against a hungry and evolved opponent like Dubois.
Do you think about retirement much?
Not think much, but I think about this sometimes.
How many fights do you think you'd say you have left?
10.
10 fights, wow. Wow, 10 fights, okay.
No, it's not true. It's not true. I cannot say now because.
In a bold and fiery build-up to the fight, Dubois has taken aim at the unified champion, calling him big-headed and claiming that Usyk is now vulnerable after a long, taxing reign. According to the British powerhouse, this is the perfect time to bring Usyk down and take all the belts.
Nah, he's ready to go, isn't he? I feel like he's ready to just be taken off that pedestal. He's a proud man and everything, but there comes a time, everyone gets their time, and like I don't know. Is he big-headed now? Is he getting it on top, getting above himself now? I don't know, but I know what we got to do on the night and take that, yeah. Wow, can't wait.
Dubois, nicknamed Dynamite for good reason, appears laser-focused ahead of this career-defining rematch. In a recent interview with Dev Sani, Dubois spoke with brutal honesty about his opponent, saying the Ukrainian is ready to be knocked off his throne. He stressed that he and his team aren't getting distracted by the noise or pre-fight antics, instead keeping their eyes fixed on one mission: total destruction.
He keeps making this sign, and it happened when you faced off, when you gave him the push.
Yeah.
That happened after he did this.
Yeah.
So that annoyed you a bit. Am I right? This 3-time undisputed, isn't it?
Yeah. We're staying in focus. We're not getting involved in all the games. and all of that, and staying focused and gonna do our job, and that's destroying him and taking all the belts.
Now, nearly a year later, Dubois sees this as the moment for redemption. He's convinced he's found weaknesses in Usyk's game, cracks that may have emerged after back-to-back brutal encounters with Tyson Fury. Although Usyk remains undefeated at 23-0 with 14 knockouts, Dubois believes the 38-year-old champion is showing signs of wear and tear. According to Dubois, he plans to make Usyk look every bit of his age in their second encounter. He's banking on the belief that in boxing, a fighter can age overnight, and that's exactly what he's preparing to do, make Usyk old in the ring and seize the undisputed crown.
I think he's a little bit worn. Those two fights with Fury and the fights with me and everyone, they've all taken a little bit out of him. Now I'm gonna make, I've got to know what I've got to do. I've got to make him old on a night. Like you say, you can turn a guy old in one night in a fight. And that's what I've got to do.
You know, that's what they'll say. If you do get your way, they'll say Usyk got old overnight.
Who cares what they say? Just getting all the belts and doing my job and getting victories is all that I care about. This will be a spectacular thing. The whole world will stop. Not just England, but America. All over the world, this will go out, team, with the whole boxing world and everything else. And yeah, let's create history.
Backing Dubois is his longtime promoter Frank Warren, who has repeatedly stated that his fighter has the kind of power capable of ending the Ukrainian's unbeaten streak. Warren has stood firmly by Dubois' side, both in contesting the outcome of the first bout and in building the narrative for this rematch. The message is simple: Dubois has learned from the first encounter and is now better, stronger, and more prepared.
I think he's mentally matured over the last couple of years. He's been, you know, in this period of 14 months that he fought Usyk, which for me was controversial with that alleged low blow. Since then, we put him in 3 fights, which I thought were very tough fights. First one against Babe Miller, and I did that because Babe Miller is very good before a fight of intimidating opponents, you know, getting into their heads, and I really wanted that to happen with Daniel, that he toughens up mentally more. And it worked, and Daniel done a job at the end, stopped him in the 12th round. Next one was Hrgovic, who nobody wanted to fight, nobody. It was mandatory for how many?
Many in the boxing world have weighed in on this high-stakes clash, with opinions split on whether Dubois can actually pull it off. One of the most respected voices in British boxing, Tony Bellew, has publicly praised Dubois for taking the fight again, even if he doesn't believe he'll win. Bellew, who fought Usyk himself and was stopped in the 8th round, admitted he wouldn't have accepted a rematch if it had been offered to him. That, he says, is why Dubois deserves huge credit for daring to go again.
He's already beaten Daniel Dubois. Daniel Dubois is a big, strong guy, immense power. I give him all the credit in the world, and he's overcome many demons, but he hasn't shown us yet that he can get this job done over 12 rounds, and I just don't see him stopping Oleksandr Usyk.
According to Bellew, Dubois has improved significantly since their first meeting. He commended the young heavyweight for pushing through the ups and downs of his career, showing resilience and hunger. He acknowledged that while Usyk will always be technically superior and tactically smart, Dubois has what all fighters hope for in a heavyweight matchup: a genuine puncher's chance.
This guy's an anomaly, he's a freak, he's the genius that boxing needs. This guy is, I can't put it into words how good he is at what he does, Jim, but ultimately all good things have to come to an end. Eventually, yes, but I just don't think Daniel Dubois is the man to bring it to an end.
So you go Usyk again?
I'm going Usyk again, and I think by late stoppage, if not points.
Stoppage?
I think he can stop him. Yeah, I just think he figures it out. It's what his mindset and the frequency he's on is a different level to everybody else. It's like this guy's gone up against a 6'9" monster in Tyson Fury and figured him out. Yeah. This guy's gone up against one of the biggest punchers in boxing in Anthony Joshua and figured him out twice.
If Dubois can avoid falling into Usyk's traps and stay composed, Bellew believes he's got a real opportunity to cause an upset. However, he also warned that Usyk already knows Dubois' strengths and, more importantly, his weaknesses, which could work in the champion's favor.
He knows himself now though, Jim.
Yeah.
So he knows how hard it is, how tough it is. I believe the first fight with him that he'd had enough. He'd had enough and he quit. So it is what it is. You can make as much of that or as little of it as you want. I think Daniel Dubois is now coming to a different stage in his career, where he's understanding now of what needs to be done and what's at stake. I think he's shown that he can overcome difficult times in fights now. And I think the victory over Anthony Joshua is going to propel his confidence levels to an all-time high. So I think he's well in this fight. I think he's a super dangerous challenger, and he'll go into it with a lot of belief, but I believe that belief will get shrunk. As the rounds pass and as the shots start getting landed on him, the questions will be asked of him again. Oleksandr Usyk will be victorious.
Adding to the conversation, former super middleweight champion Carl Froch also shared his perspective on the rematch. Froch pointed out that this is a massive moment, not just for Dubois, but for professional boxing as a whole. He sees Dubois as a dangerous threat, mainly due to his sheer size, power, and improved form since the first bout.
Can he shock the world in a word? Yes, he can, because Usyk's 30, is he 38?
38, I think, yeah.
So, I've been 38. 9 years ago, but I know how it feels. I retired at 36. I was nearly 37. I was a month away from my 37th birthday when I chin grows at Wembley in front of 80,000 fans and went on to become an International Boxing Hall of Famer. You know, that was 11 years ago. And it was hard for me, and I did the weight easy, really. I say easy because I'm not lying around in spacesuits trying to take weight off. I'm actually eating all week, and I'm doing it properly, professionally, like most of all of Famers, world champs. They do it correct. Roy Jones, Floyd Mayweather. They don't struggle at weight. They get down to the weight, they do it properly, they get in the ring.
Froch noted that the British fighter is carrying serious momentum and confidence following his recent performances. While Froch still sees Usyk as the clear favorite due to his ring IQ and technical brilliance, he emphasized that age could be a crucial factor. Usyk is a full decade older than Dubois, and Froch believes this may finally tip the scales, especially if Dubois can land big early.
On point, and it's not easy, but it's not traumatic like some of these guys make it.
No.
You know what I mean? And I just think that Usyk, at 38 years old, although he's not got the issue with weight because it's heavyweight, you can weigh what you want.
True.
He's still got a mind that's slowing down. He's still got reflexes that are diminishing. He's still got old joints and old bones.
Yeah,
he's got
Tyson Fury fights.
Hundreds of fights in the amateurs.
Perhaps the most nuanced view came from Barry McGuigan, the former world champion and father of Shane McGuigan, who previously trained Dubois. Barry McGuigan spoke about Dubois' raw, undeniable punching power and physical presence. He described the Londoner as a modern-day heavyweight, huge, strong, and capable of ending any fight with a single shot.
I think he needs to be busier, he needs to be more aggressive, he needs to jab more with Usyk, because Usyk takes your jab away and then he feints and makes you, and then you start to hesitate and you don't jab. He's got to ram that jab right down the middle of his chest, just a couple of inches below his chin. You're always going to hit something. Keep stabbing that out and then drop the right hand and left hooks. He's got to throw more punches, he's got to be more assertive, and he's got to be more aggressive.
However, McGuigan remains cautious in his prediction. While he does see Dubois as a much tougher challenge for Usyk this time around, he still leans towards the Ukrainian's experience, adaptability, and technical prowess. In McGuigan's eyes, Usyk has the tools to avoid getting caught clean. He warned that although Dubois can knock anyone out, Usyk is too smart to allow himself to be hit that way. Still, he acknowledged that if the younger man does land cleanly, the fight could be over in an instant.
Listen, if Daniel hits you right, he'll knock anybody out, and that's absolutely the case. He is ferociously dangerous. He's a tremendous puncher, so have you absolutely no doubt about that. But the thing is hitting Usyk. Usyk is like he's like a bag of tricks. You couldn't hit him with a handful of stones. His head's moving, he's southpaw. So I think it'll be a much closer fight this time, and Usyk might have to visit the canvas again. Daniel has to hit the body this time and really work on it and go for it and employ a lot of effort into body work and then switch to the head. So I think it's a great fight.
McGuigan also touched on the psychological warfare and pressure of the fight. Dubois, now with more experience and maturity, will aim to test Usyk's body and stamina. The friction between Dubois' aggression and Usyk's composure is expected to make this bout electric from the first bell. McGuigan said he wouldn't be surprised if Dubois pulls off the upset, even though he's backing Usyk to win on points.
Still, you'd have to give Usyk the edge because he's so experienced, he's so he's such an all-round great fighter. You know, he won the last one, and you know, I think it'll be a different fight. I think Dubois will push him much harder, but again, you'd still have to give Usyk the edge.
So there you have it. Teddy Atlas is sounding the alarm, calling Daniel Dubois a different animal, and warning that Oleksandr Usyk might be in real trouble this time around. With bold predictions, secret weapons in training camps, and a packed Wembley crowd ready to erupt, this rematch is shaping up to be way more explosive than the first fight. But now it's over to you. Do you think Dubois has really evolved enough to dethrone Usyk? Or will the Ukrainian master prove once again why he's one of the best to ever do it? Drop your predictions in the comments below. We want to hear every take. If you enjoyed the breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a big fight preview. This heavyweight drama is just getting started, and we'll be covering every punch, prediction, and surprise leading up to fight night. Thanks for watching. See you in the next round.